My sister told me later on that she came to the house when I was at work talking about me sexually harassing her, making poses in provocative ways. The neighbor lady goes, "What's the problem with me recording if you're not doing anything wrong?" It's so effing weird. I didn't even know how to respond to the situation.
People get stuck in their own little world, and that's a great example of that. It's not the only one.
I go over and I pull her card out of the machine. She's like, "Thank you so much." And it's like, I felt so good after that,
We have no idea what she was like with their father. That maybe she was equally the same way with him. I mean, who knows? You choose, the people who have these very early time frames, to go to bed very early because your cycle is different. And mind you, enjoy your cycle. It doesn't mean that the rest of us, the cycle is going to be that too.
Hello, everyone. It is another episode of the Munch Corner podcast. I am your host, Savannah, and my wonderful husband, Omar.
I'm Omar, and we are very happy to be back.
Yes, we are.
We have a fun topic today, which I know very little about, but the first time Savannah mentioned it, I chuckled.
Well, we can all relate to this one.
So here it is.
Who doesn't have neighbors?
Yes.
And you either have a very, no blasé relationship with your neighbor. You either love them or you hate them, right?
Yeah, and I think there is very few things in between. So we do have our tea for today. We have no surprises. This is a personal request from Savannah.
Oh, I know what it is.
So she already knows, but it's this process of inhaling the tea.
Oh, gosh.
This brings home to her. So this is
South Africa through and through, rooibos.
Yeah. Now she says it rooibos, and it's very cute when she says it that way. And for me, it's rooibos tea.
It's the right way to say it, but
she's doing
everyone's
it the right
accent
way.
is different. So.
And then we do have our favorite mugs. These are kind of
frogs.
We have our frog here, and this is mine.
So he has the frog, and I've just got the plain little mushroom.
And I get some mushrooms with it too. So just for our wonderful audience out there, it does make a big difference when you drink from a different mug. It creates an experience with the tea.
The ceremony of the tea, which is something why that is something that we always come to appreciate when we are sharing a cup of coffee or tea, is it's not as simple as throwing it all in a cup and just drinking it. Some people might not care what it's in, but I mean, it just makes it more fun and you appreciate it a lot more. And I will say, I am beyond grateful to Amazon right now. I'm going to kiss Amazon's wonderful imaginary feet because Amazon carries the rooibos tea from back home, the brand. There's several brands.
That's very true.
But I would always lean towards the Fresh Pack brand.
Right.
Because the others would run a little bit dry and it really does taste dry in your mouth. And they carry it over here. So I don't have to suffer withdrawal symptoms of not having my favorite rooibos tea. Amazon's got it.
Or resorting to very, very illicit means of trying to smuggle it in some way.
Right. No.
Yeah,
we would never do that. We don't smuggle. But you never know.
Yeah, I guess for the tea, maybe she'll make an exception. However, that being the case, there are a few suppliers over here if she didn't have it through Amazon, but we're very grateful that we can actually find it.
There's South Africa, African Hut is one of the African stores where they will bring sweets and chips and spices and things over that you wouldn't normally be able to get here. Yeah. But Amazon is normally a go-to, and it's a decent price as well. So go away, bug. We don't need you here today.
Well, this just tells you how nice it is to just enjoy essentially a moment, and the tea brings us that. So we do make a big deal out of the tea, but really it's just part of creating memories for us. So that's why we're sharing them with you.
Yeah, it's a tea I grew up with from a very young age. It's caffeine-free. So, I mean, I remember drinking it from the age of 6, 7. And on a cold day with school, it's like I just had my little flask with my tea. I always say coffee.
Yeah.
Coffee came later, and it didn't come that soon.
And coffee is still a big part of us. So just for those coffee lovers out there, we do enjoy our tea very much, but we are very much coffee foodies too. So we will share coffee, and we'll share where we enjoy our coffee from at a different episode. But here we go. Let's dive in.
Let us dive right in, everyone. You're right. We're doing neighbors today.
Gotta love them, gotta hate them.
Or you don't gotta feel anything for them. It's one or the other, right? Okay, so am I the a-hole for making sexy poses while my neighbor kept recording me for no reason?
Bruh. Well, okay.
Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me,
I'm not looking at you. I'm just like trying to picture this thing.
No, it's like I'm saying. If you're looking at me
Yes.
and there's no reason you should be looking at me, I'm going to make it worth your while.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Okay, so my dad passed away recently and he left me 26 male and my sister 31 female his house. It's super unkept, so I've been doing lots of yard work outside in the mornings. I'm out there watering the grass in the mornings and evenings. Every single time I've done this, the neighbor right next door, who's like this older granny, comes out to her porch and straight up watches me without even hiding it. Oh, so it's an elderly person. Oh, here I thought it was really someone young.
So you can already see you're intruding in my neighborhood. It's probably a lot of people who've, in all fairness, this is not a bad thing, but that have lived there for like their entire life, and so now they have the kids, the young people.
It's not uncommon for elderly people to get just more grumpy as they age.
No.
Some, not all.
Some do.
Not all.
No, clearly there's the hawk watching. Okay.
So she doesn't even hide it. I introduced myself to her once, that me and my sister are the new owners after my dad passed, but it was obvious she didn't want to talk. It's like, what's these new peeps doing over here?
Mm-hmm.
Next thing, she started coming outside with her phone, pointing the camera right at me. I'm like, is there a problem? She says, there's no problem as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I asked her why she's recording me.
Oh, by the way, just out of curiosity, I hope they get into this, but what should she be doing if she's watering her lawn? Is there like a proper way to do it?
It's a male. It's the son. He left me 26 male.
Oh,
it's a guy.
Okay, I was like, okay, so it's like
with an elderly woman.
Okay,
and his sister 31 female.
Okay, so then again, same thing. It's like, is there a proper way to do it? Okay,
I don't know. You tell me. You want to demonstrate?
Yeah.
Neighbor lady goes, what's the problem with me recording if you're not doing anything wrong? It's so effing weird. I didn't even know how to respond to the situation. Soon as I finished up and went inside, she went back to her house too. This happens every single day. I'm outside watering the grass, always the same excuse that she wants to come and make sure that I'm not doing anything else and making sure it's on camera. So yesterday I got fed up and decided to do something different. When she came out with her phone, I stuck my ass out.
Oh, gosh.
And put my hand on my hip, looking right at her.
Oh, he's got humor. This is good.
That's great. I'm so glad you decided to do something funny. Why not? At first, she was like, what the F? But then she got really mad when I started waiting myself with the hose and touching my neck while literally looking directly at her. He gave her a damn stripping show.
She wanted a show and she got what she asked for.
So. You wanted something to record, didn't you? Was it stupid? ? Yes, but she put her phone away and started cussing me out for being a pervert. Says the one holding the camera, constantly checking in on him. My sister told me later on that she came to the house when I was at work talking about me sexually harassing her, making poses in provocative ways. My sister knows she's a pain in the ass since she probably has nothing better to do with her time. But I still shouldn't have stooped to her level, making her uncomfortable right back. I feel like I'm in the right on this one. It wasn't even that bad, not like I was grabbing anything else or whatever, but also can be a dumbass sometimes. I can't sugarcoat that one. It is what it is.
No,
sometimes.
Well, he's being very upfront about what he did. Yes, of course.
So I don't know, you guys. You tell me, was I an asshole?
Ooh,
I don't think he was.
This is an interesting one because no, he wasn't an asshole. I think neighbors to me have been very much a hit or miss overall. I think, and I would say for almost everybody, if you've moved around a bit, if you lived in tight spaces like apartments and condos, and you're really on top of your neighbors, and then even if you're in suburbia, you still have the same thing. But this idea of this person coming out, making both the brother and sister feel like they're intruders in her dad's house, checking to make sure she's not their parent. I don't know that I would have done the suggestive pose. I probably would have taken my camera out there and started videoing her as she's videoing me. And then if she asks a question...
It's like a video war at that point.
No, then you turn around and say, I'm just making sure that everyone knows what you're doing. I'm going to go ahead and post this on social media.
At least he had fun with it.
No, he did. No,
it's become this daily annoyance. You know what? I swear I probably would have done the same thing.
Yeah, I think having neighbors sort of just pop in uninvited, and even if they're sitting on their side of, call it the fence, the wall, the front yard, whatever it is, we all kind of want our own privacy in our own homes.
But watering a garden is so therapeutic. So you can imagine he's just watering his garden, minding his own business, and here this elderly woman comes and decides she's gonna...
This would be the definition of the grumpy old lady.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so she's not happy about having a new neighbor, especially a new young neighbor. And we have no idea what she was like with their father. That maybe she was equally the same way with him. I mean, who knows? But no, he made fun of it. I kind of applaud him, but I feel like saying, I'm going to shake my finger at you anyway. But I kind of applaud him. You know what?
I can tell you right now, that elderly woman did not see that coming.
Oh, no.
And in her day and age, I'm pretty sure it's frowned upon anyway.
Yeah.
So that was like... How dare you?
Well, I mean, yes, there would have been this how dare you moment, especially if she's elderly. And it's definitely not in her day and age. But I mean, she has to take a little bit of accountability for her own behavior too.
I hope she stopped after that. I wonder if we got an update.
Let's see if we have an update. I'm curious.
I hope it stopped.
Because sometimes the right response is to actually, I would say, just kind of give them what they want.
There's no update, unfortunately.
Oh, that's too bad. That would.
But we have people saying things like, "Problem is, she has nothing else to do, so she takes it out on the neighbors."
No,
that is the thing. A lot of people who don't have work or are elderly and have extra time.
If they're retired, they have nothing better to do.
Exactly. So anyway, that was a fun one.
That was funny. But yes, I have to say,
I'm honestly trying to think how else I would have dealt with the situation. And if it was like an elderly woman, I probably would have done the exact same thing.
You would have done the suggestive pose.
I probably would have done something down the lines of, being like funny. So you got to use your body language, right?
No,
not necessarily sticking out your butt.
No. I can't.
But can you imagine the water? She must have been highly unamused with him.
Yeah, I think I would have been more serious with it. And that's because I have not always had good neighbors. So the response, I think, would have been, I'm taking my phone. I decided I'd watch you a little bit too, and just check up on how you're doing, just to make sure you're doing okay.
I know, but it's not as funny.
It's not. No. From a story point of view, it is absolutely not. But I still... Yeah.
To get back at them.
To get back at them a little bit.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Let's see what we have.
Am I the a-hole for frightening a snooping neighbor by opening my door and causing her to fall?
Ooh, this is going to be good.
All right. So our post is new to Reddit. Please forgive mistakes. 37 female. Oh, wow. 337 female.
Okay.
So that's mistake number one. I'm pretty sure the person's 37. Live alone in a pet-friendly, no breed restrictions apartment building. I'm currently renting and in the US. And it has significant crime in the city. So our building has 2 on the first floor and 2 on the second floor, 1 on the third. I live on the third floor. Okay. It's a third-story building.
3 stories, yeah.
I don't share landing with any of my neighbors, and anyone coming up to the third floor is coming there for me. So, okay, she's the only one there.
Good context.
We do not have a secured gate or front door to the building. I have a 40-pound dog, not aggressive in the slightest, does not have leash aggression, does not resource guard. She does have one guarding tendency, and due to where I live alone, I fostered this. She will bark at the door when someone is outside. It's a very normal thing to do.
Actually, dogs do that all the time. You don't have to train them to do it. They do it anyway.
Visitor.
Yeah, visitor, bark.
Woof.
It's the other way around. Stop barking.
All right. She is part hunting hound, so she has a very big vocal howl bark. I've always found this comforting because I'll always know if someone is coming when I'm not expecting anyone. Sometimes people will come up to lurk on my landing who have no business being there, and my dog will scare them away. She also lets me know when deliveries have been dropped off.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing unusual.
So there's your house partner, just letting you know what's going on. They have incredible hearing.
It's great. They're great protectors.
Good little protectors, yeah.
So a downstairs neighbor, the gauge is about 45 to 50 female, from the first floor has been up on my landing several times. She'll sometimes bring up packages or mail if it's left downstairs, which is nice, but I've seen her through the peephole lurking around without anything to leave for me. One time she moved my doormat. You trying to find a key?
That would be,
my doormat?
Unless they're perfectionists, the doormat was a little bit askew.
Oh, please.
No.
If you have a neighbor coming from the first floor visiting you on the third floor to fix your doormat, I think we have bigger problems.
Well, I think we have a person who's a snooper and wants to look inside the house. Hoping the traditional place, and for the world out there, please don't leave an extra key under your mat. Everyone looks there.
Don't leave it on the top of the door either.
Or right under the potted plant that's right next to the door.
No, let's not leave keys right outside of our house.
So I would have to say yes, there's some snooping going on here.
She has seen me walking my dog several times. Outside of my apartment, my dog always wags its tail. She asked several times where my other aggressive dog is because she's been up to my landing and heard my dog's big barks. I've told her each time that I only have one dog and that she just sounds like an aggressive dog at the door. She hasn't stopped asking about my other dog though. So last week...
This is in the realm I didn't hear the answer I wanted to hear.
Exactly.
So therefore I'm going to keep asking the same question all over again.
So last week, my property manager emailed about reports that I have 2 dogs, which is a fine. Just to let me know because they want to know how many animals are in the building.
I wonder who may have made that call.
I have no idea.
Could it be the neighbor down on the first floor?
Sally? Yeah, it probably is.
Is that her name?
No.
Okay, all right. Sally, we'll call her Sally. It was Sally down there.
She didn't name the person,
so I'm naming probably better that way.
So I wonder how they get this report, is what she's saying. Yeah, there we go.
We all kind of wonder that.
Today, my neighbor was on my landing again. Whatever was she doing?
Yes.
From my peephole, I saw her bending down in front of my door, but couldn't tell what she was doing. So I swung my door open with my dog standing beside me, loudly barking. She got spooked from the noise and fell on her ass.
Why, that would be very appropriate.
Why, you stay seated, young woman. Because she was leaning down to look under my doormat again. She's trying to find a key.
She's trying to find a key, yeah.
I said, see, just the one dog. Like, that's what you say? You're someone snooping, and that's the first thing you say? Just one dog, like I told you. So
well, I mean, I think the obsession over the second dog, the non-existent dog,
I guess definitely it's the build-up of the frustration. Like, I would first say so. You're like, what the hell is wrong with you looking into my doormat? And first of all, this is the damn dog that you keep talking about.
Okay, here we go.
Then I realized she may have injured herself when she fell and offered to help her up. But she just stormed off, calling me an a-hole and a bee. Said the building was better better before I moved in. I've lived here for 5 years. This is the first time I'm having this issue.
Wow.
My sister told me I'm an a-hole because I could have given the woman a heart attack by frightening her. I kind of see her point. However, I do not know what she would have fallen over. I still do not know what she was doing on my landing. Other tenants have dogs too and can hear the dogs bark all the time when delivery car pulls up. I always consider it the price of a pet-friendly apartment.
Yeah, I can tell you one thing. She is not the a-hole.
No, of course not.
I don't even know why her sister would tell her that. Could have given her a heart attack. She shouldn't be up there. I mean, I've had a collection of neighbors over the years, and you get to the point sometimes where you just want your own privacy, right? I mean, so whether you're in an apartment or you're in a house or, a condominium, you don't need to have somebody coming up there, especially on a landing that's third story. And I mean, why would she come up there other than she's looking for a key because she wants to confirm that there's not another dog there to vindicate this obsession that she has.
You think it's related to the dog?
I think it is, because if she took the time to complain to the apartment manager, then she's trying to create a fuss.
I guess she could. She could
now,
be trying to check.
You could turn around and say she doesn't like her because the age difference, that's another part of it too. They don't like that. But it sounds like from the way this person described kind of her living arrangements, I mean, she leads a fairly quiet life and she has a dog and in a pet-friendly apartment. So what can you do? I mean, so I'll share this little experience that I've had with a pretty horrible neighbor. He actually called the police to come out to complain about irrigation I was putting in my backyard.
What?
Yeah.
Irrigation?
And the police did come out because they thought there was like a serious complaint, and they came out and it was almost like, you called us out.
What did they tell them on the phone call?
So clearly I don't know about what they said on the phone call, but it was enough
this
to bring
guy is gushing water in the garden.
No,
and then they come over and it's irrigation.
His insinuation is I was damaging the wall.
With the water.
With an irrigation line being
Which walls are built for in gardens.
Yeah, kind of. So but you get to the point now where you're looking at that and you say, seriously? This is what it's about? But you realize there's something more going on, right? So,
it's always a bit of a reflection of what they're going through.
So there's a control issue here.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to control her block. That's what she's looking at in the apartment.
I need to know everything that's going on in my neighborhood.
And it must maintain the standards that I've set. Not the apartment, mind you. That's not really critical. It's just my own personal standards. It's control. And then I think there's this idea that she's seeing a younger woman come into a place that she's in her mid-50s. And the
woman might not like dogs either.
She might not like dogs, but she's chosen to have the dog as the focal point.
Mm-hmm.
However, that being the case, you can have an annoying neighbor and you just walk by their landing and you go up to wherever you're living.
And you'll irritate them.
It doesn't really matter.
It's just because they're going through a hard time or they're irritated in general.
Whatever it might be. However, the idea of impinging on her privacy, and I'm not saying the landing is her privacy because that's still considered a public space within, call it the private apartment building. However, nobody should be lurking right in front of your door looking under your mat. So the minute you have somebody doing that, that gets to be, for just lack of a better word, it's kind of harassing, to her.
Is.
And so I think her seeing it several times and dealing with the apartment manager as she has, I would have done the same thing. I would have popped that door open. I don't know that I would have necessarily said, see one dog. I would have probably said something else to her. It's like, hey, what are you doing? It's like.
It's the dog, I think, the barking that scared her. Do you want to hear a commenter's theory?
Yes, of course. Oh, this is going to be good.
So I actually kind of wonder if she may be starting to develop some sort of early onset memory loss or dementia. That's a possibility.
She's being very kind.
I don't know. So when my grandpa was in memory care, there were a few other residents who had, I don't know what they said there. So trying to break into everyone else's rooms for some reason. I even witnessed a few of them searching for a key to my grandpa's room right in front of me without a care that they were being watched. Also, if she keeps asking about the dog while on walks, it could be a genuine question that she's forgotten she asked. Could be. And she made it sound like the original poster just recently moved in. Maybe she doesn't realize how long she's been there.
She's being very kind. So she's giving the benefit of the doubt, I think, in a place that I would not. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you why. If she's complaining to the apartment manager and she's constantly coming up there, she's conscientiously doing what she's doing, she feels that she's absolutely right.
We don't have enough context, honestly.
I know, but somebody going up and hunting for a key under a mat to get into somebody's place, which technically, if you're not invited in, would be breaking and entering, right?
Course.
I mean, so that
trespassing.
It's I mean, if she takes anything, obviously it would be that. Mm-hmm. But that would be frowned upon, I think, with pretty much any police department in the world. You don't really walk into somebody else's house. I'm not saying
it's okay.
No, but I can appreciate the perspective that says maybe she's having a difficult time mentally.
It's not impossible. Let's put it that way.
So we can be kind and say benefit of the doubt, but I'm not leaning towards that one.
Okay.
Let's
roll into the next one.
All right.
Am I the a-hole for sleeping outdoors in my yard? My neighbors are bothered by it. Have you ever camped in your backyard before? I have.
I think as a child I've always wanted to, but we never lived in a place where I could.
You know, the idea of camping out in the great outdoors is so fun. And then you do it as a child and an hour has passed and then 2 hours has passed. And then you look at the lights on in the house and everyone is my parents purposely would like stand at the window.
They would taunt you from the house.
Cook a nice meal.
Yeah.
And they'd offer, but it's like I got to a stage where I wanted to do it like real wild lifestyle.
Yeah, in the backyard, of course.
I wanted to be in the bush. I want to catch my own food, which obviously I did not.
Yeah.
I just had the munchies stored in there, and you eventually realize, why would I do this to myself?
Yeah.
The house is right there.
Yeah. Home might be kind of nice.
And then they would very quietly do this nod as you walked back in the house and they were in the living room and just come and give me this hug when I sat down and just say, it's okay. But obviously my pride was struck a little bit because...
they were kind not to strike it further.
Right.
A little bit. So.
They were at least very sincere in that way.
I think you have to let every child or young adult
figure it
out for themselves. This is in the realm of like your experiences or your
obviously
best teachers.
Nothing that puts your child in danger, but I mean,
right. No bear in the woods for the audience out there.
No, if it's very innocent, and you know what, if you never let them do it, their curiosity is gonna get the best of them. They're either gonna be so upset and never let you forget about it, or do it and let it be past them, and they probably won't think about it again. Okay.
All right, let's see what we got here.
Okay, this is a weird one.
Oh, well, that makes it even more interesting.
That's the start of it. I've been having major cabin fever recently, working from home and generally being stuck at home, especially when the weather has been warming up. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Getting outside helps a lot, but I've mainly stayed in my own yard. I have a hammock up between 2 trees and I've slept there at night under the stars. Oh. It's nice, it's peaceful, and it makes me feel a lot less like a rat in a cage nowadays. The great outdoors is very nice.
No, I think we have an intrinsic desire, I think, to connect to nature in some form.
It's very grounding to be out
It's very grounding to have that. And we do it in so many different ways. You can take a walk, but dog walking is great, just to walk in the woods, just away from just everyday sounds.
Yeah, but you also hear of people saying, these 4 walls drive me crazy. And you're not necessarily in this cramped space of 4 walls, but you're in the same space constantly. And sometimes just being outside is all you need.
It's all you need.
I know it's weird, but I enjoy it. It is peaceful and helps me de-stress after work. But my neighbors are bothered by it. They said it's weird. They don't want someone sleeping outdoors near where their kids play. How close are you to their kids? You're in your own yard.
That's your first question? My first question is, are your kids playing at night at 1 o'clock in the morning in your backyard?
They don't like me being out there. No, but he's out there quite a bit. They don't like me being out there so much because their family has less privacy and it would be better if I stayed in the house at night. Do they have fences where they can see through?
Well, remember how you and I have looked at places, different places in the world, and some places, in particular,
you can see right into your neighbors.
Yeah, particularly California, everyone has walls or fences around you. I mean, so the property limits are such an important thing. However, that being the case, other places, like the East Coast, oftentimes have open backyards. I mean, so you literally, you do have a property line, but it's not blocked off by a fence, although you could technically put up a fence if you choose to. So we don't really know what's going on.
So I said I don't pay them any attention. I'm just doing something relaxing to stay sane because my work and other things have stressed me out.
This is probably one of those non-fenced wall backyards.
It probably is. Yeah. So am I the a-hole for wanting to keep sleeping outdoors?
No. You're not. I mean, so everyone has a choice to me.
It's your property.
It's your property. And
if he was snooping at the kids, that's a completely different story.
Look, I would say property rights to me, as just personally, are very important. I think if you're within your own space, you should have as much autonomy as possible. Backyard, front yard, whatever it would be, so long as you're not infringing on somebody else's happiness in their home. Right? I mean, I don't mean like you're working on your backyard and they're not happy with the noise. Again, you have the chance to do whatever you need to for your backyard, but the quiet enjoyment of your place, and I think that's even probably a legal term.
Which we all get to do.
We should all have the ability to have the quiet enjoyment of our property, and whether that property is a 10 by 10 area as a backyard, or it's your balcony, or, if you have a full yard, in this case, they have a full yard, it does sound like there is no fence in between them. So,
what's probably happened? The kids have probably noticed this person in their backyard a lot, and they've complained to the parents saying, this guy seems to be outside, always outside.
I wouldn't put it on the kids. I actually put it on the parents. I think, and I would say probably over everything else, it's probably the mom. So she's concerned about a man on the other side of the property.
It doesn't necessarily say man.
But wasn't it who's the...
I don't know. Did I miss that one? Did I read right past it?
I think it's a guy.
It doesn't say.
Oh, it doesn't say. Okay. Well, usually they do. So for some reason, I assumed it was.
No, it does not say.
But realistically...
I also assumed it was a guy. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, and I think that's where I would see... Look, this is an unfounded concern because, I just, from men versus women, would it be a difference if it were women out there? It might be for kids. But just the same, they want to have their peace and quiet enjoyment of their backyard. But they don't want to have it within the view of the neighbor, who also should have the same ability to have the quiet enjoyment of their backyard.
It's very unusual what this person is doing. And I think that's another detail that they don't like. They find it strange, like, how is someone sleeping in their backyard? They must be up to something.
I could say that it would be...
It's not a common thing to do.
I would say it is maybe a little bit strange, but we don't know the background of the writer to say how important this might be.
No.
For them, other than I do get the idea that you can feel... They just said,
though, that they de-stress after work. Yeah. They need it. It feels cramped up in the box.
So there is one simple solution to solve this. I mean, and I think everyone can see it. It's so obvious. Build a fence. You know what he should say? Or she should say? What is it?
Just don't look at my side of the yard.
Well, that would be the sarcastic response. which of course I would, would definitely.
Look the other way.
Yeah, now Savannah has a little bit of our sarcastic streak, maybe a tiny bit. And then I've fed into it too, so it's kind of fun it's part of our bantering. But I have to say, if this is a huge concern for you, even on the East Coast, where you may have open yards or other places that are like that, you can build a fence. And if that privacy in your side is so important, then you have every right to build a fence on your property. So
if it's that big of a problem, do something about it.
I mean, but
you cannot control your neighbor, especially if they're not doing anything that's imposing on you. They're literally minding their own business.
Sitting in a hammock in your backyard. I mean, I get at night that might be a little odd.
But they're still in their own yard. If they were coming close to your fence and trying to look at things, that's different. But the person's minding their own business.
Yeah, I think there has to be a little bit of give here. You're living within your proximity of your neighbors. If you really want that space, you have to find an alternative, or I mean, build a fence, put landscaping. I mean, if it were me, I could tell you right up front, I would want to have that sense of enclosure
I
in my
would
own
too,
yard,
especially
especially
if we have kids.
with kids and with the proximity to other people
And
around.
if you want to, as well, being a mom, set up an outside camera. If you want to keep an eye on things that not going into your neighbor's yard, basically on the border of yours, so that you can see the fence line and your own yard. And then, have it on backup camera. So if anything does happen, you have something you can watch on as your kids are outside. If it gives you extra, comfort. But I would definitely want the extra privacy. So the fence is something I would do.
Yeah, and from his
walls.
point of view, or her point of view, the person that's out there enjoying this, I mean, my hat's off to them. I mean, they're finding a way within our city life, suburban life, to reconnect back to nature and find a way that they can be whole. I think COVID has taught us that when we're stuck in a house, even if it's a nice house or a nice apartment, you can go crazy. And I think everybody needs a chance to stretch their legs and go out and do something. And if they can see the stars at night, I mean, my gosh, that's an even better thing. It's just a kind of
Most people do not spend enough time outside.
Agreed. Yeah. They don't. But I do think that he or she is not a problem here.
No.
Especially, it sounds like they've had a conversation with the neighbor and saying, I just want to enjoy my backyard.
And they literally said here, I've told them it helps me de-stress.
Yeah. So he or she has had what I would say is a genuine conversation from neighbor to neighbor. But this just kind of highlights how challenging it is to be in the proximity of.
It is, because I mean,
people.
it's not like you have to be friends with the people you live next to and across from.
Right.
But at the same time, they're still part of your life.
Yeah.
I'll give a story from a neighbor. I mean, recently it was Father's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Father's Day ended up landing on a Sunday. Was it on a Sunday or was it a
Sunday?
Sunday.
Father's Day is usually a Sunday anyway.
Yeah. And we're lying in bed. It was 7 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, it was 7 something, but yeah, it was 7 o'clock in the morning.
And there's this, what's that thing called?
It's like a rotor hammer used to break up
a jackhammer.
Yeah, it's
something
very,
like
very
a jackhammer is going off 7 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday on Father's Day. And it keeps going and it keeps going. And I'm thinking in my mind, who on earth in their right mind would do this, first of all, so early and on a very special day?
Yeah.
And have absolutely no care in the world for their neighbors. So, I mean, I didn't work myself up too much, but we got the day started. Our son ended up waking up. We celebrated the Father's Day morning.
Wonderful Father's Day, by the way.
We made it as special as we could.
It was more than just special, and it was thanks to you. And I know Ryland influenced everything, but yes.
Yes, of course. He's gonna put more hands in it as each year goes by.
And those little hands do a lot.
Yes. And we get dressed for our day because we're going to be heading out. And you know what? I'm not angry, but part of me feels like I just need to let this person know that it was very disappointing. You know? So I went over to their door. I knocked on their door. She's pretty surprised to see me because we've never actually been face to face. She's a bit elderly, older than me. And, she said, how can I help you? It's like, and I have my son on my hip. And I say, I just want to say, I think it's pretty disappointing that you chose today out of all days so early to be doing work like that in your backyard. It's so loud. It's my husband's first Father's Day. And that is how we woke up. And she was completely taken aback. You could tell obviously it was not intentional. It's not like they all planned it to be on this day.
No.
But at the same time, it's like sometimes you just need to let a person know that it wasn't okay. It's not like they stopped the work and everything. She did say they'll be done in a few hours. I'm really sorry they couldn't get it another day. And I say to her, and she's like, "Oh, we're really good people." It's like, it's not a judge of your character, but I just wanted to tell you it's very unfortunate.
I think people get stuck in their own little world,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a great example of that. It's not the only one. I mean, we can see that all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And when they start thinking about what they want to try to do, they're not conscientious of it. I think because we're sensitive to the sounds in the neighborhood, and obviously because of Ryland, we're very aware. I mean, so we recently did a little bit of trimming for a tree that needed to be trimmed, but we were very specific with the guy.
time of day.
It was not only the time of day, but it was also no Sundays. We feel very strongly that a Sunday should be a day where you can be with family, with friends, you can relax.
But also outside of a Sunday, never early or late.
And we do have another neighbor that it's like wakes up with daylight. Okay, so you can imagine how fun that is during the summertime, and decides that it's like on a Thursday, and it's like clockwork, and it makes me feel.
The first time I heard that, I was like, I was wide awake, like, what the heck is that? It's like, my love.
I had to explain it to her. It was just one of those.
It's just a sigh. It's the trash cans.
So obviously we all have trash cans if you live in a home, and these trash cans are not meant to be quiet, right? They're not designed to be quiet.
It's the can ones.
Yeah, and they are they're noisy when you move them, but you really don't expect like 6:30 in the morning or 10 after 6. And so there's a part of me that goes through this cycle every year. And Savannah is with me now on the cycle. And it's like, could we just get to the time when it's still dark in the morning for winter so that they don't do it? And you could walk up and talk to them, and I have over the years, but I'm talking literally to a wall. And just, they look at you like, oh. And then the next week it's back
like
again.
I care.
It's the same thing all over again.
Omar told me the story before we moved in together about these neighbors. And obviously you register that. How unsympathetic to everyone else's time are you being?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, I'm listening to his story. I'm sympathizing with him. And then you're there at 6 o'clock in the morning trying to get some sleep. And you're like, ding, clang, ding, clang, ding, clang, right up the driveway. Yeah. It's not like it's a quick 2 seconds. They take their damn time walking.
Well, I mean, I think the part you're really hearing is the backyard, not so much the front. So, and they do take their time because they... And just for the audience's sake, it's the same people who called the police on the irrigation installation.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Oh, why am I not surprised?
Right. However, that being the case.
All right, everyone. Let's move on. That was some fun neighbor stories, though. So, am I the a-hole for telling my neighbor his wife's early bedtime isn't my problem?
Oh gosh, this hits so many chords for me.
Does it? Why?
Oh, okay. So background for everybody a little bit. I work fairly long hours, and part of my job relates to the construction field. So if you are ever involved in the construction field, I am up as early as before dawn, and I am done working by about like 2 in the afternoon, maybe 3. And so there's this cycle that happens, particularly with construction staff, right? Construction workers in general. And I don't fault them for that. I mean, we have so much out there that says the early bird gets the worm, whatever you want to call it. And it's wonderful that the early bird gets the worm, and that's great. And so my work does not involves this overlap. So I completely get it. But I constantly have to deal with construction workers that want to come in. They're up at 4:30 in the morning, right? So they're starting their day. They got to travel to where they need to get to, and they get there by 6, sometimes 6:15, and they want to get started. But there's ordinances in most places in California that will say 7 a.m. is the earliest you can start making noise. And even 7 a.m. could be later, but let's just say 7 a.m. is okay. So when you have this reverse occurring, right? When you're looking and saying, well, you choose, the people who have these very early time frames, to go to bed very early because your cycle is different. And mind you, enjoy your cycle. It doesn't mean that the rest of the cycle is going to be that too. And so with the hours that I typically work, I'm catching oftentimes a 7 p.m. end to my day. And I could begin fairly early, but not as early as these guys. So my hat's off to them for doing that. But you cannot make your neighbors follow your cycle, whether you are doing this because of work or you just have these habits that you're a very early riser and you go to bed early. That's great. But I think if somebody was making noise at 10 p.m., or maybe even 11, whatever it is, that's out of the realm of, I think, being courteous to everybody. But
let's find out.
Let's find out more.
So I'll read the title again. Am I the a-hole for telling my neighbor his wife's early bedtime isn't my problem? Me, 24 male, and fiance, 25 female, moved into our first rental 15 months ago. We get along great with neighbors on one side, but the couple who's in their mid-50s on the other side have been nightmares.
Wow.
Okay.
I've never experienced that. That's my sarcasm, by the way, coming out. So.
The pattern started early. 3 weeks after moving in, we politely warned neighbors about a small housewarming. 15 people, music off by 11 p.m.
Okay.
Over by 12:30 a.m. Saturday. Before we could finish explaining, the wife cut us off, saying our afternoon music was too loud because her husband was recovering from a stroke. We were completely apologetic, said we had no idea, hoped he'd get well soon, and reassured her the housewarming wouldn't be too loud or late.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm. They're trying to be considerate.
They're trying to be considerate.
Escalating harassment. For 12 plus months, they've banged on our walls whenever we make normal noise. They share walls.
Well, I think they said didn't they say it was
an apartment rental?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. I mean, so you obviously have
sucks.
yours and the person next door to you, yeah.
We make normal noise. Hovering. What's hoovering?
Oh, they're vacuuming. He's vacuuming. It's because Hoover, so this is a cute part about Savannah. So Hoover is a brand of a vacuum. So oftentimes people say, it's like saying, I'm going to make a Xerox of something. Xerox is a brand of a copy machine, but you're making a photocopy.
Okay.
So people say hoovering.
So I can say I'm going to go Dysoning?
You could. I think it would sound a little different. Yes, but you'd be Dysoning.
It doesn't sound as cute as hoovering.
Doesn't sound cute as hoovering, yes.
Okay. Hairdryer music, even mid-afternoon. Mm-hmm. They deliberately wind up our dogs from their garden, then complain about barking.
Okay.
They've thrown stuff over our fence that sent one dog to the vet with an obstruction. No proof, though. Oh, that's terrible. Today's incident, I've been doing DIY for our nursery. My partner's pregnant. I purposely start at midday to be considerate, but got delayed by a hospital appointment halfway through the day. Mm-hmm. So when I got home, I was finishing off sanding 7:30, 8 p.m. Still daylight until 10 p.m. here, when the husband stormed over at 7:55 p.m.
Okay.
He said, wife goes to bed at 6 p.m.
Okay, so I thought early, I never imagined 6 p.m. early, but I made the comment about people going to bed early. Usually I'm thinking like 8:30, but 6 p.m. Okay.
So he said his wife goes to bed at 6 p.m. and I'm bang out of order.
Okay.
That's an interesting phrase. I apologized, but said I'd be done in 10 more minutes, and he started getting aggressive. I then said again that I was sorry, but ultimately his wife's early bedtime isn't my problem. She could use earplugs or close windows rather than expect the world to stop. There it is. That's a good way to say it. Mm-hmm. He threatened to wake us at 4 a.m. I calmly said, knock yourself out, mate. Mate. He then squared up to me saying, you'll regret that. I'm going to make your lives living hell. Oh, that's not a nice neighbor. Important context. Our lease allows power tools until 9 p.m. Oh, so they do have rules in place for power tools. Council only considers a noise a nuisance between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. Other neighbors warned us he's damaged previous tenants' property and was caught kicking someone's cat.
So this is a very ugly person.
Wow, that's a very ugly person. We're worried about property damage to our cars and house, stress on my pregnant partner, and potential harm to our dogs when the baby comes. Oh my gosh, I would be too. We do have cameras, but ultimately don't need the stress of worrying about what they might do to the pregnancy.
Well, what they're thinking is it going to cause stress enough to his partner where she would be under stress during her pregnancy? Which you and I can completely understand how that is a huge part of. I mean, if for those of you who haven't had a partner who's pregnant, I mean, from my side, it's always trying to make sure that Savannah can be as comfortable as possible. So you're protective of that, and it's on multiple stages. I mean, levels, I should say. There's an emotional part. I mean, Savannah has fun cravings, which are good. However, there's the hormones. There is the part of stress, particularly at different times in a pregnancy that.
But also something small can feel so stressful, like it's a really big thing.
Yes,
and it depends on the day.
It does depend on the day, but at least from my side, I want to try to make sure that she has a minimal amount. Life is going to bring whatever life brings, but
right, you can't take everything on. You can't take it all.
But it's the idea, especially as she's getting later in the pregnancy, the comfort level and everything else. I mean, I completely sympathize with this concern because it's a very genuine concern about causing emotional stress harm, which now carries to the baby as well. So
no, your baby definitely feels it, and which is why the number one recommendation doctors will always say, if you're experiencing something like Braxton Hicks, and I won't go too deep into it, Braxton Hicks is basically your body doing practice contractions to prepare you for labor. So it's basically just your abdominal muscles contracting, so you feel a tightening in your tummy. But it's not real labor.
No, so it's that your body preparing itself.
That can be onset by stress.
Yes.
So if you're overly stressed, if you're really dehydrated, that can cause it. So, and I mean, and in very extreme cases, which I wouldn't be surprised, this seems like an extreme case, worrying about, a very dangerous neighbor, aggressive neighbor, especially a neighbor that's gone and said, I'm going to make your life a living hell, and you're about to have a baby, that's a nightmare.
So
I would be 100% concerned about that. And there's only so much you can do, because unless you have proof of damage or, being aggressive and things like that, nothing can be done about it.
Well, there are things that can be done. Is that the end of the story?
There is an update. Do you want me to finish the update?
Yeah, let's do the update and then we'll talk about this.
So they did do a bit of an update. Cameras have gone up, covering the front a little bit more, and camera ordered for the back to watch the adjoining fence.
Yes.
Police report has been made, and an officer will be coming out to see us within the next couple of days to get more details. Housing Association are also aware and contacting us today.
Okay. So
thanks everyone for the advice. We'll update further when I have new developments.
He has done absolutely all the right things. Entering into a confrontation with the neighbor directly is not the right answer. But bringing the address to the rental property owner, they have to address bad tenancy, from a legal point of view, and the tenant that's there. Harassment is a police issue. So this person
don't take it on yourself. If it's not your line of work, don't mess with it.
When somebody threatens,
not your monkey, not your baby.
Yeah, interesting. It must be a South African expression.
Yeah, if it's not your type of business, it's not your type of thing to be dealing with.
Okay, good. I'm going to remember this one. And everyone for the audience.
I could be saying it wrong.
Not your monkey, not your baby.
I hope I'm saying it right.
I hope you're saying it right too, because I don't know what I'm saying. So, okay. But this guy has done everything with that update. That's exactly what I would have had him do.
I'm glad he brought in the right people.
So it's really hard to preemptively deal with a problem like this, and I think that's the challenge that people will have. Police can get involved with property damage when it occurs, but then it's like it's occurred, it's already happened. The cameras help document that. They don't help prevent it unless somebody feels compelled that they understand there's a camera there and it restricts what they decide to do. But they can still go through and do it. But the camera's important. But the threat he made, this guy took it very seriously, and that's exactly what he should have been doing. And then in terms of filing the police report, absolutely 100%. If somebody threatens you,
you want to track this from the very beginning.
You want to track it from the beginning. You want to involve the correct people. If I were the property owner, and the police will have a different response, and I'll tell you a little bit more of what I think the police can and can't do. But the property owner, to me, the way they have again, back to that quiet enjoyment of space with all their tenants, is if all their tenants get along. So if you have somebody who is not getting along and causing an issue and threatening, I would take that extremely seriously, to the point where I would terminate their lease. And terminating their lease is because there's a liability issue. That's the very
first step into actually doing something. Yeah. So if they keep their word and do it.
So if they, exactly. If they keep their word and they say, I'm going to make your life a living hell, which is what he basically said, then you've reached that point where you are now being put in a position where you're being threatened. Not somebody who's just an annoying neighbor. Those will exist everywhere.
I think, again, I think I've said this before in a different episode. I'm rather safe than sorry. So any threat. I mean, someone could be meaning it in a funny way because they think it's funny. Take every threat seriously. Because in the end of the day, if something does happen, you cannot take it back. You cannot go back in time. And then you're also going to be mad at yourself for not having done something about it. So threats are not a joke.
So this person might very well be a bully, and that's where it stops. But then there could be more. And if
I'm pretty sure, because apparently the wife was recovering from a stroke, so she's been having medical issues. So this person has a lot being packed on their plate, and what tiny thing has to be done to push them over the edge? Well, and he will do something.
Well,
that
I think they're already there, and
danger on someone else.
I think we always feel a sense of empathy when somebody is a caregiver or dealing with a very stressful family or medical situation. There is no excuse for a response with a threat of violence of some kind.
No, not an excuse at all.
So for the police, the best thing he did was to file the complaint and have them come out and take a report. Then now it's documented. They cannot do anything unless that person actually physically does something.
Which is now that the law enforcement's been involved, that's at least...
That's a great step. Now, the next stage he may have to get to, unfortunately, is he may have to get a restraining order. And that would be, again, another legal method that now is a much higher threshold, because this person is constantly harassing him. So it's very unfortunate. If we ever got to that position where we were living in those circumstances and we had to do a restraining order, I would be looking for a different place to live, because it's not worth dealing with.
We would do the other steps.
We do
obviously
the other steps
in the meantime. But I think us having kids as well, like they're expecting a baby.
Right. But for a rental, if it were my home, I would think of it differently. The restraining order would be probably the thing I would go for, because I own the house, right? But if you're in a rental, it's like you could take legal action. There's civil action you could take. You could take action against the owner of the property for not addressing the issue. The police really can't do very much unless that person exercises the threat.
And that's why I said until it's too late, until they've actually done something.
Until they've done something. And the cameras will help document that. But I think all things considered,
he went about it the right way.
He went about the right way. But if I stepped out of stepped into that situation and I could see that coming, even under the stress of moving, and moving is a stressful thing, I would find another place and tell the property owner,
it's not worth it if your safety is the cost.
That I'm going to have to basically, terminate my lease because you're not addressing this. And they have a legal responsibility to address it. So if they don't address it within a certain amount of time, then they should, basically I would say I need to remove my wife and my expectant child, from that situation, especially for a rental.
I do agree.
I feel a lot of sympathy for him. He has every right to say that, what he's doing, and he's protecting his family. So
I hope it was a good outcome. From scrolling down, I couldn't see an update. I mean, life takes you. So, I mean, you're going to forget to do an update. But I do want to end on a funny note. Talking about neighbors. So I had a petrol attendant neighbor. I never told you about this.
Okay, you have to give the audience what that really means.
Okay.
Because they're not going to know what a petrol attendant is.
Okay, so here in the United States, you obviously pump your own gas into your car. In South Africa, we're petrol attendants, so someone does it for you. So it was a learning curve for me to come over here and do it.
Oh, and I was Savannah's petrol attendant for a while.
He was adamant. He was adamant that, don't worry, I'm going to fill up the car every time. You don't need to get your hands dirty and deal with the pumps and everything. I'll do it for you.
And I did want her to learn
how. And for the longest time, he did.
Yeah, and I wanted her to learn how to do it because it's important, because it's very different. Of course,
so he'd let me watch.
Yeah.
And then one day I actually came home and I said, I pump my own gas. So anyway, it was funny.
But just for context, even though California doesn't do that, there are other states within the United States that actually have people that pump your gas for you.
Yeah. So
it's very similar to that. It's not so foreign as well.
So it's California. Anyway, talking about a little petrol attendant neighbor. So I get to a gas station because I need to fill up the car. So anyway, put the pump in the car and it's busy filling up. And there's this woman right next to the station right next to me. And she's looking back and forth. She's trying to figure something out, but you can see she's getting stressed out. Mm-hmm. So obviously I'm paying attention because if someone's stressed out, I want to know if I can help. So I'm glancing over but what she's pacing back and forth to her car and the machine.
Okay.
And eventually she catches me there and she's like, hey, can you please help me? So it's like, okay, I leave my car, I walk over to her, it's like, is everything okay? I can't get my card out of the machine. Her nails are so long. She's made her nails like wickedly long. And there's obviously a certain amount of space between once your card is pushed in and it locks in place.
Yes.
The machine prohibits you after a certain fingertip point to be able to go in and retrieve it. And if your nails are crazy long, you can't even get your fingertip to touch the card. And she can't grip it with her nails. So she's like, I can't get my card out of the machine. And obviously the first thing that's coming to mind is, oh my gosh, the machine wants to suck her card and it won't let it go.
Yes.
And then she tells me, my nails were too long. So I go over and I pull her card out of the machine. She's like, thank you so much. And it's like, I felt so good after that,
Look at you being a good Samaritan, trying to take care of somebody's
It was so funny.
Nail challenges.
So, I am amazed by how people can have such long nails.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
I mean, I got mine done 3 weeks ago because we did a maternity shoot. I never get my nails done.
Yeah, and mine were just recently done too. So.
Whatever. I literally only get it done for a special occasion. The last time I got it done was when before our son was just born, for the maternity shoot as well. So, I mean, and they're growing out already, and they already feel so long, and they're not very long, but
they're like claws.
It's yes, compared to my normal nails. And I hope she never ran into that problem ever again, because this was the new gas station.
No, but she's going to, unless she has one of those, like the card,
she needs
the chip
to bring
reader.
tweezers.
Yeah, she's gonna have to bring tools.
I think she's now got a thing through. I need a backup plan of pliers. Bring pliers with me so I can pull my card out of the machine. It was hilarious.
We just figured out something we can go and market. Just the extraction tool for credit cards.
Oh my gosh. Do you have long nails? Do you need another solution to pull out your credit card from the machine?
Well, we have this handy dandy kit you can put in your car. And on today's special for $9.99, you can order a spare for your second car.
And if you buy two, it's only $14.99.
There you go.
It is your day.
No, that is hilarious that you would have
It was so funny. So, I mean, neighbors can come in different forms. So you can have it from someone that's simply next to you for the first few minutes of pumping their own gas. But yes, your neighbors mainly do reside right next to you where you live. But be considerate of others around you. But again, like the guy said, don't expect the world to stop for you just because your routine is different to someone else's.
And then the other thing I would leave as kind of maybe a final note is you can always take the high road. and you can do a little something more for somebody else. And I think we have a tendency to want to do that. You do have to get to a point where you may have to essentially protect yourself in some form if it's really that bad. But I think there is this awareness that Savannah and I have that people are going through whatever they're going through. And so they may not be at their best moment. So you can always be there to help in some form.
Be considerate of others.
And be considerate and
see how you can help.
And then it's always it's the idea of, I've had, when we've helped some people who've been kind of essentially really in a bad place, and they say, well, what can I do for you? How can I pay you back? And we tell them that's not what we want. Just pay it forward. Mm-hmm. And I think that's probably the underlying message, I would say, if you're able to give kindness to someone.
A small act of service can probably make someone's day or change someone's life and how they see the world. And
I will have to say, even from personal experience, even though we do it, I've had people do that to me when I was not in a great place. Mm-hmm. And I always remember them. I mean, I may never, ever meet them again, but I remember them for that moment.
And they're probably going to remember you.
They do. And I think it would be mutual. This is part of that wonderful shared journey that we keep talking about. So, mm-hmm. So I'm happy that you were helping a shared journey with this woman who was stressed over getting her credit card back.
Fellow stranded person that can't get the card out of the machine.
So just keep an eye every time you go to a gas station now.
You never know.
There might be somebody over there that has long nails that needs a little help.
And keep a lookout for the men too.
Yeah, they may have long. No, they probably don't. Probably not.
You don't know. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. We're glad we could share the fun, the grim and gloomy stories of neighbors, and appreciate your neighbors and the good people out there, because you could have a very grumpy neighbor. And if you do have one of those grumpy elderly neighbors, you know what to do.
That's right. You make sure you're in the backyard.
Strike pose.
Yes. On your
Use
hammock.
that hose pipe.
Use that hose pipe. Yes. On that final note, make sure you always have your hose in proper working order.
There we go.
Just in case you need to do just the right thing.
Go check your hose right now.
Let's go check your hose right now.
Have a wonderful day,
Thank you for joining us. We appreciate you guys. And as always, bring us comments, ask us questions. We would love to be able to provide you a bit more of things that are important from your side too.
And we'll see you again on the Munch Corner podcast.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.